I'm Pastor Bryan Threlkeld, and I want to welcome you to my new podcast, Tipping Sacred Cows. Now, you may be wondering, what is tipping sacred cows all about? Well, in a nutshell, I would say it's a bit of a lighthearted way to tackle some heavy-duty biblical subjects. I called it Tipping Sacred Cows because as we explore a variety of topics related to God, theology, and the Bible, I am sure that sooner or later I will be stepping on some toes. I will be challenging what some Christians consider to be sacred cows. That is, things that they would say ought not to be questioned. So let me just offer a little disclaimer up front here. My goal is not to offend anybody, nor is it to say that I'm right and you're wrong. My goal is simply to challenge you to think for yourself. Because I believe that in order to correctly interpret the Bible, you have to approach it with an open heart, an open mind. That is, you have to be willing to set aside your preconceived notions and look at the scriptures afresh. And that is more difficult to do than most people realize. We all, based on prior teachings and experience, have certain lenses through which we view the Bible. And quite frankly, they color the way we interpret different passages. But to study the Bible with honesty and integrity, we have to set those aside and just let the text speak for itself. So my ultimate goal in this podcast is to look at certain preconceived notions that many Christians hold and at least get you to think about why you believe what you believe. Now, obviously, my particular theological beliefs will come out in these podcasts, but please hear me. I know that I'm not 100% correct about everything I teach. Like, nobody is perfect. We're all a work in progress. And maybe after I tip a particular sacred cow over, you'll come to the conclusion that, hey, Bryan, that cow needs to be stood back up. Well, good for you. The only reason I tipped it over in the first place was to get you to think about that particular subject and draw conclusions for yourself. One of my favorite passages in Scripture is Acts 17:11, where Luke tells us, "Now the Berean Jews were of more noble character than those in Thessalonica, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the Scriptures every day to see if what Paul said was true." Wow. If the Bereans were considered more noble because they questioned the Apostle Paul's teachings, how much more should you and I question the people who've taught us? Whether it's your favorite pastor, your favorite author, your favorite theologian in church history, they're all imperfect. They've all taught some degree of false teaching. And so my hope and my prayer in this series is that you, like the Bereans, will become more noble in your character. In other words, more honest when it comes to reading and interpreting the Bible. And if you can do that, then you are much more likely to be led by the Spirit of God rather than tradition as you explore the depths of His Word. I'm Bryan Threlkeld, and I hope you enjoy this series.